who are here for your first time, and those who are here, whether it's your first time or whether you've been several times or not, and to all, we welcome you here to the Final Call Administration Building. We say to you that you are always welcome, that when you come here, this is your family. You are among your own. If you'll notice here, if you'll look around you, though we are one in struggle with all oppressed people over the entire earth, black, brown, red, yellow, white oppressed, all oppressed people, we are one with the oppressed of the earth. But if you will look around you, you'll notice that there are no Chinese here. There are no Japanese here. There are no Vietnamese here. There are no Italians here, no Greeks here, no Jews here. If you look around you, in front of you, to your left and to your right and behind you, everybody here looks just like you. This is a place where we come to discuss family business. Not that we don't feel the hurt and the pain of all oppressed people, but we close the doors here and talk family talk. When family talks, family doesn't want to have to worry about what somebody else thinks about what's going on in the household. So here we close the door, we go into the closet and discuss family business so that when we open the door and go back out among all of the people, we can go out presenting ourselves as a united front. And we can present ourselves after we have been repaired and after we have sharpened each other. So we say to you that we are your brothers and your sisters. This is your family. The same dog that bit you bit us too. So brothers and sisters, tonight before Minister Farrakhan comes on, who we will be hearing from very shortly, I want to say to all of the Muslims who are observing the fast of Ramadan, Ramadan Mubarak, which means blessed Ramadan, and the answer is Ramadan Kareem. So let me do that once more. Ramadan Mubarak. To our visitors, we are observing a special fast that is called Ramadan. Ramadan is the 9th month of the lunar calendar. And during this special month of Ramadan, which we have observed with the general Islamic world, we have a special month of prayer and fasting and study and spiritual purification. But we who are the followers of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, following the guidance of Minister Louis Farrakhan, we also observe Ramadan during the month of December. And during this month, we know that there's much partying going on in the name of the Lord. There's much getting high going on in the name of the Lord. Much gambling going on in the name of the Lord. Much stealing, because there's so much social pressure to come up with gifts and presents and to give gifts to folks that you don't even like because of the pressure that's going on. Fat, imaginary white men that are supposed to be coming down chimneys hollering, ho, ho, ho. And after Christmas is over, we oh, every white man in town. So we undergo a special month of fasting because we believe that this is the month that we should withdraw from that kind of foolishness in the name of Jesus, and we should live upright and moral and spiritual lives during this special month. So this is a month where we try not to get into any arguments. We don't eat or drink anything, and there's no relationships of the sexual nature, affairs of the heart between the husband and wife during the daylight hours until the sun goes down. Because we are taught by the Honorable Elijah Muhammad that if we can control food, water, and sex, the three things that put us on the earth and keep us on the earth, if we can say no to those three, then we can say no to anything else, because we need those three and we don't need anything else. So all praise is due to Allah. So as we prepare for our minister who has come onto the rostrum, for a few moments we have with us a very special guest, Brother Famian Morrison. And Brother Famian Morrison, who is right here, will be addressing us, is from the Metropolitan Skills Center at 700 West 63rd Street. Some of you have been hearing about the Metropolitan Skills Center in the news because recently, just about 10 days ago, Brother Famian was fired. He's the director of that center, one of the most successful in the country, with a close to $12 million a year budget, anywhere from 800 close to 1,000 students, and he, through his certification, stands at the very base of the certification for the Skills Center itself. And he has been fired by the white Justin Company. You remember Justin, they make the class rings, high school, and they have fired him because they say he was instrumental in organizing the staff to form a union against the racist policies of the Justin Company. So they up and fired him immediately. Alderwoman Anna Langford and others have come to his aid, and he came and spoke with the minister earlier today, and the minister has allowed him. I noticed that he has introduced me to some of his staff and some of the brothers and sisters who are present with us tonight from the Skills Center. Let us welcome them and give them a hand. So to those who are on our radio hookup or on our telephone hookup, we'll just be having a few words from Brother Famian Morrison because we stand in solidarity and in support of our brother who is training not only our youth but training many of the adults in gainful skills that we might be able to employ ourselves and do something for ourselves. Brothers and sisters, let us receive Brother Famian Morrison, who will take a few moments as we join in solidarity and support with him. Brother Famian.
Thank you. Hello, 1, 2, 3. Thank you, Brother Khalid, and thank you, my faithful brother, Louis Farrakhan, for giving me the opportunity to come into your home. To my fellow staff members, as well as my fellow students, I appreciate you taking your time to be part of this great union. For lack of time, I'm going to just give you a little synopsis of the entire story, and maybe I might give my phone number out and you can call me if you need some sort of further details. First of all, let me give you some little information about Johnston itself and how the Skills Center by name, Metropolitan Skills Center, came into being. Somewhere last year, I believe it was August 1985, the Johnston's Inc. came to Chicago and identified 63rd and Emerald as a prime spot to open up, a Skills Center. They met with me after they had advertised that position. They knew that I was super qualified, so we sat down and talked, and I was chosen as the rightful representative for the school in the whole of Illinois. I knew that I was going through a lot of problems in terms of pay scale and all that, because anytime you're getting ready to start up a fresh business, you have to sacrifice. Well, I had a tough job, in front of me. I had to hire, train, develop staff. Matter of fact, right from the beginning, I hired about 54 staffs. Okay? I also had a quota of 150 students to be enrolled. And guess what? To my greatest effort, I put in about 650 students. Okay? That means I exceeded my quota. Each student has to pay $3,000 a piece. So I want you to multiply the 650 by 3,000. We grew through pains, and Eventually, somewhere around May, the entire establishment really settled down. You know, anytime you're getting ready to set up or initiate a set of business, you got to go through all kinds of pains. Very unluckily, somewhere in May the 10th, Johnston's Inc., they came in with a white gentleman. They told me that, Fabian, you've done a good job. However, we're going to bring in a white gentleman who has almost about 14 years experience in vocational business. You're going to learn the whole lot from him. We want you to train him. Listen to this. We want you to train him how the business is being operated. And I promise you, Mr. Fabian Morrison, we're going to designate you as an ambassador to open up schools. And by the way, Johnson's got about 38 schools all over the nation, from coast to coast. I was lucky, in fact, I was really ambassador. I had a chance to go from skill center to skill center. But anyhow, as we black folks are, we always love to share our knowledge. So I embrace this white man. Come on board. Maybe with your 14 years experience, I might learn something from you too. But rather, it turned out to be the reverse. So this man came on board. I trained him. Now, somewhere in October the 5th, my staff had the opportunity to organize themselves in terms of trying to question our pay schedule. And I know that the pay schedule itself from Giggle was not right. So the company brought in a union specialist. And this man, his name is Mr. Tucker. They approached me and made it clear to me, Fabian, you are the grandfather of this building here. What we want you to do is do the best you can, by all means necessary, to bust this union. Okay? I listened to him. The following week, this new white guy who took over my position after I had trained him met me in private. This is serious business here, Fabian. And this is what I want you to do. I want you to continuously investigate who was for what in terms of the union. I want you to be strict on all the employees' tardinesses and document every little violation. I shouldn't honor any sort of request for personal time. In short, he wanted me to put pressure on all my staff and sort of trying to frighten them. He went further to make continuous class visits and to document every little thing that I came across. Again, thereby intimidating all of my staff. I should cancel all regular faculty meetings, thereby curbing union consciousness. I should lay off, if possible, of which I did. You should hear this white man complaining about our low enrollment at that time. Matter of fact, he made it clear to me. Discharge, if possible. Well, it was a tough decision for me to make. So what I did, I took off. All right? I stayed away from the problem for about a week. And when I came back, we had a closed conference. Now, days are passing by, and I want you to take this $500 and do exactly what we want you to do. $500? Do you think these vibrant black people here look like $500 to you? No, sir. Those days are gone. I want to tell you that I'm not a house Negro, but I'm a field Negro. I'm not going to accept the $500 today. If it's going to cost my life, I will sacrifice for it. And that's point blank. And aside from that, you yourself, you are indulging in what we call unfair labor practices. It's against your own constitution. And I'm not going to do it. So the white folks started shaking up. All of a sudden, my paycheck came from Johnston's Inc., of which Johnston's Inc. is located in Louisville, Kentucky. I don't have a copy of it here, But you can see that all of a sudden on my paychecks, a whole lot of pay increases. Talk about retroactive pay increase. But the question is, retroactive as to what? All right? So I questioned him. Oh, Mr. Morris, I didn't even know about this. Well, I got a pay increase. Well, maybe the company still wants you to know that they mean business. The union election came a week after. What happened? It was a landslide victory for my people. Now, what happened after the election? The so-called retroactive pay stopped right there. So that right there told you something, right? Okay. So 3 weeks passed. On that day, I believe it was on the 19th of November, Alderman Anna Langford, who is a very good friend of mine. In fact, she's been very supportive of my program, and vice versa. She visited my skills center and came and told me that she just received city funding to open up the 63rd Inglewood Shopping Center area. And she was telling me that in the near future, we're going to receive some more students, which was a plus. It was around 4:15. No sooner had I escorted Alderman Anna Langford outside than my boss, who is this interim white guy, called me to his office. Fabian, this is an order from above that we do have a supportive information that you were supporting the union activities. Consequently, your appointment with Johnston's is terminated. Give me your keys, get your books out, go home. Wow. Well, a man is a man whenever a man will stand up. But I'm not going to accept this. The only time I will step outside this office is I want you to give me whatever you think in writing. Give me some evidence first. Well, you could see me. I was about to raise my African fist and fight with him. Right? He couldn't come up with it. So God would never sleep. One of my staffs overheard the back and forth argument. And I appreciate you. Hastily, she drove her car and went back and got the alderman, because the alderman had just left my office. So she came back and interrogated two of those white folks. What's going on here? I just left here. Don't you like me? No. Well, the issue is we have some information that Mr. Morrison, being a manager, was involved in union organizing. Well, give me a proof. Well, according to company policy, we're not supposed to give it to him. Is that the way you treat your managers? Well, I'm giving you 2 days, and these are the ultimatum that I'm going to give it to you. You give me all the evidence that you think you have, rehire this man back, or else I'll close you down. Now, you know these white folks really do not know Miss Anna Langford, so they started doing their research back door. And then when they found out that this lady here got a lot of pools, they started calling her. However, all the calls were not in my favor anyway. So she said, well, don't call me again. I'm going to close you down. Now, if Fabian cannot have this facility, you're not going to have it. And I am the chairman of Educational Committee, City of Chicago. If this man here was able to open up your facility with $1 million coming in, I'm capable of giving him city funding. Thereby, it's going to be a co-op business for all the black people, but not some few white folks coming in and suck our blood and take the money away with them. We're not going to stand idle. So what we started to do, we started picketing. We've been boycotting the facility ever since last week. To validate this, look at the, Chicago Defender. They got a big picture. I've been on all kinds of talk shows, WBBM radio, WFM 96, you can call it all day long. Even the white folks sympathize with my situation. So to make things short, thereby giving the podium to the minister, we need all your support. All the support that we can get. let us prove to the white man that we're not house Negroes. Now, we're also trying to launch what we call a discrimination act against the company also. And what do I mean by this? A couple of weeks ago, this white gentleman's secretary, personal secretary, was involved in drugs on campus with the students. I mean, I'm talking about pushing dopes and all that to my students. Well, guess what this white person did to this sister? He gave this sister the opportunity to resign. Okay. Thereby collecting unemployment compensation. Well and good, because that's a sister. But then if you get this black sister the opportunity to resign, why is it that you don't give Brother Morrison the same opportunity, even though I am a manager? That's just one instance. Our Skills Center has a main campus on 95th and California. It is called Metropolitan Business College. 4 weeks ago, the president over there, a white guy of course, he was arrested for embezzling white man's funds, his own brother's funds. And also, he was charged with harassing some of his own staff with supportive evidences, tapes and all that. Now I want you to guess what happened to him. They gave that white man an opportunity to resign. Now when it comes to this black boy standing here, whereby I've worked so hard, 15 hours every day, with no credit for overtime payment and what have you, set up the program. And this is not a secret. All of my staff know this. All of my students here know this. They're not going to give me any opportunity, but we're going to fire you. Go away, Fabian. We don't care for you no more. Now, this past Sunday, I was sitting right there. The minister made a good statement. The white man will always use you, and having used you, what's going to happen? He's going to dump you. And he definitely did dump me. But I'm going to show him that I'm not a house Negro. I'm going to stand up. And my first name stands for sacrificial. And I'll sacrifice and die with my cause. By all means necessary. I'm not going to sell my people. And that's the bottom line. We need your support. The schedule for the boycotting activities, 11:30 every day. The alderman comes through once in a while. We also have the whole lot of stuff going on that she told me not to make those public, that I would tell Reverend Farrakhan. So we need your support.
Yes, sir.
And consequently, a word to a wise is enough. And thank you.
Thank you. Brothers and sisters, Brother Fabian Morrison's father fought in the revolution in West Africa, in Ghana, with Osagyefo Kwame Nkrumah. He is originally from Ghana, and he's a fighter. He comes from a long line of fighters from what he has been telling us. So I don't think the Justin Ring Company knows what they really got into. I don't think they know what they've really gotten into by tackling Brother Fabian Morrison. So, brother, we wanted to make sure that you knew that you were with your family, and as you have given us these facts and details, that we share in your pain. And as I said earlier, the same dog that bit you bit us too. Brothers and sisters, we will now, as we have come out on this Wednesday night to hear from the minister, he is continuing a series, and then there will be a special business session also on the strengthening of the will still. And we're in Ramadan, and the push now, we hear the carols in the streets, we see the Christmas lights going up, we see the Christmas trees everywhere. So we want to certainly hear from the minister so that we will know exactly what's going on all around us, so that we don't get caught up in the spirit of something that may not just be connected to what we think it's been connected to. And it may be connected to something else that we haven't even thought about. So we have to get out of celebrating holidays just because white folks gave them to us, and we never ask, how did this start? What does this stand for? What does that represent? So brothers and sisters, our minister, Minister Farrakhan, is here with us and seated and ready. So please let us receive him, Minister Louis Farrakhan, who will take us deeper into this subject and whatever else Allah has put in his heart, the message that he has for us tonight. Minister Farrakhan.
In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, I bear witness that there is no God but Allah, and I bear witness that Muhammad is his messenger. I greet you, my beloved brothers and sisters, with the greeting words of peace. Assalamu alaikum. Once again, it is my privilege to have this opportunity to share with you some of the words of guidance and teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. To Brother Famian and those members of your staff and students who may be here, your struggle is a part of the continuing story of our life, not only in America, but this is all over the world. Wherever there are black people, we suffer these kinds of indignities. But you should take comfort in the knowledge that the end of these indignities is in sight, simply because you are not willing to take it anymore. And whenever we are not willing to take what others are willing to give, that's when it stops. Now, to face what we have to face in the time of the closing down or the eclipsing of the power of Caucasian rule, we have to be strong people to go through what we have to go through with, to the victory of our people at last over our enemies. Martin Luther King had all of us singing a song that became the anthem of the civil rights movement. We shall overcome. And if you look in your Bible, in the book of Revelations, it says, to him who overcometh, these things will I give to you. All kinds of wonderful blessings God will give to those who overcome. To overcome. Look at that word. That means to engage in struggle against a formidable adversary and prevail, overcome. To overcome means a test of your will, that your will to be free must be stronger than the will of the oppressor to enslave. Your ability to endure pain and suffering and to sacrifice whatever is necessary to overcome your enemy and establish that which is meaningful for yourself and your people. That is easily said, isn't it? It's very difficult to do. Every day of our lives, we are confronted with tests that test our character, our willingness to overcome. God doesn't throw you into a big battle before he gives you smaller challenges that you can handle and overcome. And every time you overcome a small challenge, you are preparing yourself for a bigger challenge. For all life is one challenge after another that we have to overcome. And by overcoming, we bring out of ourselves the best that is in us. In fact, to know that gold and iron ore is in the earth, as the Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught us, is one thing, but to mine it out of the earth and put it into the service of others and self is another thing. To know that there is gold, that's one thing. That's very good. Now, what technique will you use to mine that gold, take it out of the earth, and put it into your service? That's a greater knowledge than to know that there's gold there. Is that right? Yes, to know that there is gifts that God has given to each one of us, we can say it with ease. I know that God has given all of us gifts. That's one thing. To extract the gift, to bring it out of you, and then put it into your service and into the service of others, that's a different kind of knowledge. You all know that you're gifted, don't you?
Yes, sir.
You know that God did not cheat you. He gave you something to give to yourself and to the world. Yes, not one of us are without a gift. The question is now, how do we extract the gift and put it into the service of ourselves and others? The Skills Center that brother established, that brought 650 students paying $3,000, which is about $1,800,000, something like that. It's a lot of money. Coming from poor people who want to learn a skill. Maybe the white man is not interested in you really giving them a skill, but he's more interested in getting the money. Can you imagine the insult asking a man to train his replacement? Taking an inferior, putting him over a superior simply because he's white. But not just because you're black, Brother Fabian. That's not the answer. You're a black man with concern for your people, and that makes you dangerous. That's right. Long as you're black and unconcerned, you'd have the job. Right. That's right. But when you want to produce young black people, put skills in them, confidence in them, better them, then you're a dangerous man. Why don't you think for yourself, they'll say. You know, we'll make it easy for you, Fabian. We'll increase you. Retroactive pay. We'll give you retroactive pay. Just don't organize the students. Don't wake them up. Just do your job as good niggas always do. But you don't want to be a good nigga. You want to be an upstanding black man that believed that the Caucasian really wanted you to build a skills center. That's mistake number one. That white man don't want you to build a damn thing for black people, and you better understand that, brother. Listen good. I'll say it a little better. He doesn't want you to build anything. But I put an exclamation point by saying he don't want you to build a damn thing. they always come with the right sounding words that attract your mind because you want to help your people. But they're trying to use good words to cover a wicked scheme to milk money from your community in the name of skills. But then you, being serious, wanting to produce it and make black men and women have pride in themselves and come alive to their gifts, you're dangerous. We don't bring black folk to school to make them see their greatness. They bring you to school to make you see their greatness, so that you will always be a servant of them, no matter whether it's a master degree or a doctorate degree. You're a master, doctor, servant of white people. So to know that you are gifted is one thing. But for you to engage in the process by which your gifts can be extracted and developed for your good and for the good of your people, that's another thing entirely. And I must tell you, Reverend, if you're here, the church does not engage in the process by which gifts are discovered and utilized. Any organization that does not demand the best of you and put you under trial and tribulation and challenge will never allow you to see your gift. You never know who you are and what you are in a laissez-faire, easy kind of environment. You don't know. That's right. The white man did us a favor. That's right. Yes, sir. Bringing black folk out of Africa. He did us a favor. Hitching us to a plow. Treating us like animals. That's a favor to you. But you couldn't see it because there's too much pain. But without that, you would never have known what you could endure, so that you could know that you will overcome it. And you know that. And I'm not telling you nothing you don't know. You know that you have the power to overcome your enemy. Don't you know that? Of course you do. But nobody's demanding of you more than what you think you are able to give. And that's the problem. Nothing is challenging your will to strengthen your will that you may overcome those obstacles that stand in front of you. The Nation of Islam, under the leadership of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, teaches us that we as men and women, FOI, we're constantly training to overcome every obstacle that is put in front of us. In order to overcome obstacles, you have to have the will to overcome. You're born into the world to overcome. It's not something that you have to learn in school. You're born with that in you. But your enemy wants to beat that essence down. Keep your will shattered. So you listen to music all day, which is saying nothing. You listen to the disc jockeys and their meaningless foolishness all day long. That's right. Or you go to church and they give you a good sermon but do not structure you in a way that it challenges the fiber of your own faith. You go out into the world, you're not challenged. You become a Muslim. And the moment you become a Muslim, you meet a challenge. You go home, your parents say, "What is this you become? You've given up the Lord Jesus?" Say, "No, mother, I found him. I didn't give him up, I found him." Come on. What do you mean you found him? What is that you got on? A long dress? That's what your grandmother used to wear. What's the matter with you? See, but that's a challenge. It's a challenge to a woman to cover herself in a world that uncovers her. That's a challenge to your will. Yes, sir. Well, I don't know whether I like the Muslims, but I have pretty legs. And I want the Muslims and everybody else to know that my legs is pretty. And God gave me a pretty shape. And I just feel that I should show everybody, you know, what I got. See? So that they will what? What do you expect them to do after you show them? Come on. Exactly. They will lust after you. Is that what you want? That's what you got. So it takes some will to resist the tendency to be attractive in a way that is disrespectful to yourself. And if you're willing to challenge it, well, that's really something. To walk through the streets and have people look at you and you be proud. Every time you do that, you're overcoming something. You don't even realize what's happening to you, but you are beginning to get stronger when people reject you. When people speak evil of you, mock you, and you can take it with a smile and keep on going. Something is building in you. You are overcoming. And the real person of you is coming up. Your character is being made manifest. It never will come out without trial. It never will come out without tribulation. And that's why slaves were stronger than you that think you're free. Because they knew they were slaves. And they knew they had to overcome. You are a slave, but don't know you're a slave, and are dumb enough to think you are free. Therefore, you go around with a silly attitude that you don't have no more challenge because Dr. King paid it. Boy, he really tricked you all. Not Dr. King, I'm talking about white folks. You can drink at any fountain now. You can sleep in any hotel or motel now. And you really are dumb enough to think you're all right. I listened to the alderman the other night talking about how white folks from Springfield, seeing your power in Chicago and your potential power, knocked off 186,000 names from the voting roll. And many didn't even find out that their name wasn't on the roll till they went to vote. That's right. Now what is that? That's the white man acting his part. A devil. He's an opposer of good. He's an opposer of justice. He really does not want you with any power at all. He wants you always under his power. So if you don't have the will to challenge him and overcome him, you will be a slave all your life. And you will pass on that sick slave mentality to your children because you punk out of every challenge. Listen to me. Listen. I use that term. Anytime a challenge comes, you turn your back. You punk out on every challenge that comes your way. How can you ever be a man or a woman and you are not willing to face even small challenges? Foolish people. I want to meet with God one day, I hear you say. You don't realize that to meet with God, there's a difficulty factor. In fact, in everything of value, there's a difficulty factor. And if you think that it's easy, when you reach the difficulty, and the difficulty is something that you had not factored, then you run away from the difficulty and say, oh, I didn't want that anyway. Anything that's worth attaining in life, you have to overcome difficulty to reach it. And if you don't have the will to overcome, you will never reach any objective in your life. It is the difficulty factor that extinguishes the light of your own desires. I used to play the violin, and when I would perform, some of my classmates would say, at that time I was playing about 6 or 7 years, and I learned to play fairly well. Well, some of my classmates were inspired. They wanted to play the violin too. So when they asked me how many years had I been studying, when I told them 6 years or 7 years, they said, how long will it take me, to do this? Well, the difficulty factor of 6 years extinguished the light of their desire. It went right out. I'll go something else. Okay, I see you. This is in your Bible and in the Quran. I don't want to take a lot of time with it. But when that man came to Jesus and he asked Jesus, how can I attain the kingdom of God? And Jesus said to him, you know the law? Do the law. He says, well, I'm already doing that. Figuring he had the kingdom made. Then Jesus laid it on him. He said, that's good that you're doing the law. Then he says, deny yourself. Say, go take your goods, sell it and give the money to the poor. Deny yourself, pick up your cross and follow me. The man looked at Jesus and said, the difficulty factor is so great, it extinguishes the light of my desire to see the king. I think I'll wait. Maybe somebody else will come along with an easy program, a quick fix-it program. You know what I mean? You want a good meal, but you know what it takes, sister, to cook a good meal? Do you know the time that it takes to shop and pick the food carefully, and then to prepare it properly, and then to cook it properly? It takes time. So why be bothered with that difficulty? Why be bothered? So if this white woman can bring you a meal all together in a pot or a little tray, and all you got to do is put it in your microwave and flash it a few minutes and you got your meal, well, all right. Now this is the kind of life I want. You'll never know who you are under that kind of madness. First of all, the meal is no good. That's right. That's number one. The pea's been dead since Methuselah. Pumped up with formaldehyde, all kind of color to make it look one way. They season it well for your taste, but not for your health. But what do you care about health? You lazy thing. Now you dying from malnutrition, but you eat every day because you let some other person prepare your meal for you, because the difficulty factor, the time factor, extinguishes the light of your desire to cook. These are challenges to you and me every day. Let me bring it really close to home. I love you, baby. Let's get married. She says to him, I dig you too. I accept your proposal. Here, baby. Here's a ring. I bought it at the 5 and Dimes. Put this on now. It glitters just like a diamond. The difficulty factor to get that diamond was too great. I hope you will accept this zircon as a token of my love for you. I really love you, baby, but I ain't willing to go through no pain. You understand? I mean, take this zircon. Now listen to me carefully. The divorce rate is staggering. I have become disgusted. I don't want to say weddings no more, just funerals. So please don't come to me when you want to get married. That's your business. You take care of that yourself. I will bury you because I know you ain't lying when you dead. You understand? I know if you dead, you are dead and that's it. But we lie and get everybody involved in our lie. Now wait a minute, I didn't intend to lie. I like that woman, but you didn't like her enough. You didn't realize, sister, when you said to this man, I do, there's a difficulty factor here in coming together. The wedding is just solemnizing your word. It don't mean you're married. To be married means to be united. To be in unity means that two people have to struggle to overcome difficulty. And the struggle to overcome difficulty, to become one, is what brings the character out of a man and a woman. And that's why Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said marriage is 50%. It is 50% of what makes you what you are. Because you don't really know what you are till you got a woman. And you don't know what you are till you got a man. And you give your commitment, I'm going to make it with you. But you lie. You don't really mean that thing. For better, for worse. All this, I love you, I love you, and I love you, and I love you. Then some difficulty arises. And the difficulty is so great, it extinguishes the light of your desire to be with this woman. Or to be with, I didn't know he was like that. So you're going to bring it on, I didn't know. Well, you see, I thought. And I didn't see. Maybe I was blinded by love. I didn't know he didn't wash his socks. I didn't know that he was lazy like that. I didn't know she didn't want to cook. I didn't know. Now you found out. Then what? There's some difficulty. Well, hell, I'm running out of this. Go ahead and run away from it. Then tell me you want to meet with God. You're a liar. You are a liar. You can't meet with the Lord of creation except you come through difficulty. And if you can't take some difficulty with one another, how will you ever approach God? Ain't gonna be no easy road getting to Peter at no gate. Even though that's symbolic talk, I wish I had time to explain it. You really lying to yourself. You don't want nothing that ain't easy. And that's why you quit everything that puts a challenge on you. You're back out of it. I came to the nation. Well, I wanted unity of black people. You did. You didn't know that there was a hell of a difficulty factor in that? You don't have no unity with black people easily. We are the most difficult people in the world to find unity with. If you want unity, you really want to bring out the best in your character. Did you hear what I'm saying? Now look, if you don't have the will to struggle, to overcome, then die.
That's right.
Get the hell out of it. Don't come back no more.
That's right. That's right.
Because you really don't want to live. You dead already. With this little punkish attitude. Life ain't easy. God didn't make it easy for nobody. You say, oh, Minister Farrakhan, your language. Forget about the language. You understand what I'm saying? You really don't want what you think you want. And that's why you run from everything. Once it presents a difficulty to you, you back away. You join the nation, you think it's going to be easy? No, white folk don't like us. Government don't like us. Parents don't like us. So what? Do you want it?
Yes, sir.
Then overcome. Well, you know, he didn't smile at me. He shouted. He spoke to me. She spoke to me in a funny way. That's because you want an excuse to back away. You really don't want to struggle. See, you use all these things, and if we made it just right for you, you would back away even quicker. You want some sit-down religion. Do nothing religion. Don't have no challenge. Don't make it difficult. Don't upset white folks, Farrakhan. The leaders said, Farrakhan, for God's sake, don't talk about the Jews. We know what you're saying is right, but don't say it. Because the moment you say it, you put us in difficulty. We don't want no difficulty. We just want to pass the difficulty on to our babies. Let them struggle tomorrow because you're too weak and cowardly to struggle today. So you deserve what you get. Did you hear what I'm saying? You deserve all the hell that you get. And I hope God pours it on you, because you should be dead, because you really don't want to live. Life is a struggle. That's all it is. From the time the sperm left your father, it had to struggle in a hostile environment just to meet the egg. And even though he emitted from 100 million to 1 billion, most of them died. And even though he emitted from 100 million to 1 billion, most of them died in the middle passage, because only the strong survived. But that one that survived had the will. It moved in a hostile environment. Said, I'm going to make this egg. All the rest is... Difficulty is too much. Let me see if I can back out of this. Too late. So they dropped dead in the middle passage. That's right. But you made it.
Made it.
You made it.
Yes, sir.
So you came into the world to struggle.
Yes, sir.
And now you run from it. A good fight brings the best out of you.
That's right.
Sometimes you didn't even know what you had until you were forced. They put you in a corner. You go, I don't want to fight nobody. I wish you'd leave me alone. But then when you're forced, you beat the bully to death. Then you say, hey, well, I didn't know. Then you become a bully after that, huh? See, it's bringing something out of you, but it's difficulty that brings out of you what God has put in you. That's all I'm saying. I think it took a long time to say it. I could have said that in 1 second and kept on going. Don't run from difficulty. God put brother in this. It's a challenge. You can overcome them crackers.
Yes, sir.
And if you don't, the fight will bring something good out of all of you. And it will make the white boy know, man, these are new blacks that we're dealing with today.
That's right.
We can't do the same old thing we used to do. We got to be careful. That's how you change white folks. You have to beat them, overcome them, struggle against their wickedness and overcome it. Then you see them bow. But they're not bowing because they want to. They bowed because they've been overcome. The lamb in the book had to overcome. Look at it. You see that little lamb? He looked like he had been slain from the foundation of the world. He was a lamb, but yet he was a lion. He walked up to the man that sat on the throne and took a book out of his hand.
Come on now.
And when he began to open the seals, there was none that they said was worthy in the heaven above or in the earth below to open the seals. And the 24 elders, they cried because nobody was able. But when the Lamb took the book and opened the seals, then The elders took their crowns and cast them down.
That's right.
Why? Because the Lamb overcame them.
Yes, sir.
It's a struggle, man. Even in heaven, you got to struggle.
Yes, sir.
God didn't make nothing easy. And if you really doubt what I'm saying, if you really love Jesus, you think about him. Here's one that you claim to be the only begotten son. Check up on what you say. He's the only. No one else. No other son. Just this one. And look what his father put him through. Well, if he did that to his son, what you think he's going to do to you? And then Jesus got to a point where he had to come and face death and the cross and all of that, and he didn't want to go through it. He wanted to pass the cup somewhere else. But the Father said, go on and drink it, boy. I'm with you. He was developing in him faith in his God. Faith in his Father. How do you develop faith? You put the man in a trial and make him overcome. Don't help him. Throw him in it. Knowing that he's going to come through if he struggles. Then when he struggles, his faith gets stronger. His will gets stronger. Then he go on to higher and greater heights. That's why we as Muslims say in the Quran, in the second surah, if you'd like to open your Qurans, if you have them with you. Are you all right?
Yes, sir.
Not going to be long. In section 23 of your Muhammad Ali translation, chapter 2, verse 183. O you who believe, fasting is prescribed for you, as it was prescribed for those before you, so that you may guard against evil. You can't guard against evil, brothers, with a weak will. I mean, that's clear, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Evil makes a pull on you. The only way you can stop doing evil, you have to have a strong enough desire or will to overcome it. And how do you develop the will to overcome evil? By the practice of fasting. Notice it is called a prescription. Chapter 2, verse 183. Chapter 2, verse 183. In the Yusuf Ali translation, the verse may be one verse different, but if you have it, it's either 182 or 184 in the Yusuf Ali. You got it? Okay, let's move on. You know what a prescription is? It's for people who are what? Sick. Why are black people sick? It's because their will to resist evil is weak. The Bible says, resist the devil and he will what? How many of us resist him? See, we do that thing in church. We talk that. When the Jews attacked Brother Farrakhan, and they really attacked me.
Yes, sir.
I didn't attack them.
Yes, sir.
They attacked me.
That's right.
So viciously, particularly in Los Angeles.
That's right.
They expected that with the barrage of propaganda that they put down, threatening my life, that I would run and hide. They felt that if they talked about me like they did, I wouldn't even be willing to show my face. Just the opposite took place.
Yes, sir. That's right.
They presented me with a difficulty.
That's right.
A difficulty that I really didn't want. But it's a difficulty that my love for Reverend Jackson got me involved in. And once I got involved, it was too late.
Yes, sir.
And I'm not the kind of brother that back down, even though I may be scared. I call on God to overcome the fear, but I'm going to face this difficulty. Now, once I got in it, and I knew that my position was principled and it was correct, then I cannot back down if I'm right. So now a fight is on. Everybody that weakened and would not face that difficulty in that hour, they lost. And in that hour, I gained because I faced the difficulty. And the difficulty did not extinguish the light of my desire to deliver black people. This is why opposition comes. Opposition comes, it is a gift from God to bring out of you what is in you. Without opposition, you don't know what you are. Have you seen people in the gym shadow boxing? I mean, they look so good. Put somebody in front of them, all that shadow boxing, you wonder where all that pretty move went. They lost it all because an opponent knocked them out in the first round. You don't know what you are without opposition. God has always given his prophets opposition to test their faith and to strengthen their will. And when your will is strengthened and your faith in God is strengthened, there is nothing that you cannot do. And so Paul said, I can do all things through Christ which strengtheneth me. Do you know what that means? He didn't say I can do some things. He said I can do all things through Christ which strengtheneth me. Then he turns around and said, all things are possible. Nothing impossible with Christ. You really believe that? Then what are you backing out of struggle for? You want difficulty. Because when you get a difficulty and you face it with God, you overcome it and you become a better person as a result. Now, how are you going to do that without strengthening your will? And what better way to strengthen your will than to challenge what is natural in you? My body and your body needs water. We need food, brother. God knows we need food. Now, when you can look at a plate and know you're hungry and say, I will not eat tonight, the stomach start growling, then the food smell extra good. Testing your will, see? And you say, well, maybe I'll eat tonight then. Nobody gonna know. See, you ain't cheating on somebody else. When you break the fast, you're not cheating on somebody else. You're cheating on yourself. You say, well, nobody saw me. Nobody saw me. I ate all day long. And I was supposed to be fasting. Nobody saw me. Did you see yourself? Then you missed out on a wonderful opportunity to strengthen your own will and to develop the power to resist. That's why black people have not overcome as of yet, because the will to overcome is very weak in us. We do things when it's a crisis. When the crisis comes, we all rally around, and if you don't keep that thing hot, brother, people, even though they love you, if it's too long, like if we can do it by 9:30 tonight, well, I don't have to stand out in the cold on a picket line. You know what I mean? You know, it's getting cold, and brother, I can hear him. I'm with you, Brother Fabian. But let's get it over quick. I mean, 'cause I heard it's going to be below zero today. See, we don't want nothing that is protracted. Don't keep it going too long. And that's why white folks, when they talk to these people when they're holding hostages, they always try to gain a time advantage. Send somebody to deal with your mind while they gain a time advantage. Because they know if they can keep you from doing what you said you was going to do in 6 hours. If you don't deliver by 9:15, I'm killing everybody. Then, for God's sakes, hold up. I mean, we're going to accommodate you, but give us a little more time. Once you make the first accommodation, they know they'll continue to weaken your will. See, it's a mind game. It's a battle of wits and it's a battle of will. And that's what you're involved in. When you talk about liberation, you're talking about a battle of wills. Your will to be free against the oppressor's will to keep you in a state of oppression. Fasting is a prescription to develop your will. And if you will not take this prescription, you will not develop the strength of your will to resist all difficulties and overcome. Now, how many of you know anything about the Orthodox world of Islam and the fast that all the Muslims go through called Ramadan? Okay. All of the Muslims who know this fast, you know that this year we fasted with the whole Muslim world for the first time. Some of my brothers and sisters who want to condemn me say that I should not have done that, but you don't have my job.
That's right. That's right.
I'm doing my job.
That's right. Excellent.
See? Now, those of you who know that the Muslim world condemned Elijah Muhammad because we fasted in the month of December rather than with the lunar calendar and its rotation as the Muslim world does. But I want all of you to know that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad was absolutely Quranically correct. If you go back, the Quran says that the month of Ramadan is that in which the Quran was revealed. Stop right there. Now, the Quran didn't make a mistake. But we know that the Quran was not revealed in 1 month. It was revealed over a period of 23 years. So which Quran was revealed in the month of Ramadan? Is there another book that is to come in the month of Ramadan? Or is it that supreme understanding of this book will be given in the month of Ramadan? All the scholars agree that something here needs to be better understood because the Quran was not revealed in the month of Ramadan. It began in the month of Ramadan. And when that first revelation came to Muhammad, the scholars say it came in the month of December. You hear that? The Quran says we should fast for a certain number of days, verse 184. But whoever among you is sick or on a journey, he shall fast a like number of other days. And those who find it extremely hard may effect redemption by feeding a poor man. So whoever does good spontaneously, it is better for him. And that you fast is better for you if you know. Now those words are powerful. Now look, some of us find it extremely hard to fast. How many of you have found the first day of fasting a little difficult? Okay. How did you do? Did you make it? You struggled through and you made it. When you overcame that day, what did you think about yourself? You said, man, I didn't know I could do that. And if you did it the second day, you felt better. And the third day, you felt even better. Now, there are some of us that are sick. We should not fast when we're sick. If you have a weakness or you're under the doctor's care, you don't need to put yourself through something that will hurt your health. But you can't get out of it by saying, I'm sick. There's something else you got to do. You got to feed the poor. Now, when you look at your pocket, see, which is fast getting empty. You don't have but a little. You want to hold on to the little that you got. But God is asking you, if you cannot fast, take some of your money and feed the poor. That is to teach you a lesson also. Because this is something that you need. And if you will give it up to obey a command of God, that strengthens your will to resist the greediness of your own soul. And that's how the white man controls black people. By giving you something in a large measure and then asking you to do something that you wouldn't ordinarily do, but the lust for this is so strong that you carry it out. Can you imagine murder for hire? Hey, brother, here's 10,000. I want you to kill brother. Think over that. Isn't that crazy? When is this brother's life not worth more than this paper? That's pitiful. So if you hold on to this, like this is the real substance of life, rather than the development of your own personal relationship to the divine and to each other, where in developing personal relationships, sometimes you have to give this. Not for the purpose of developing relationship, but you must never be greedy of this. Holding it, hoarding it. Because this is not salvation. But if you can give it away when you need it, that's the same as fasting when you need food and you deny yourself food for the pleasure of God to strengthen your will, and you deny yourself this to help somebody else. It strengthens your will. So when people think you're a soft touch, see, it is they that are the fools for laughing at the charitable heart of someone, while that person who is charitable is developing themselves, and they are in ranks above the receiver. And that's why Jesus said it is better to give than to receive. Isn't that heavy?
Yes, sir.
Now, believe it or not, I try to give all the time. Whatever God blesses me with, I will share it with others. Because once you hold on to this thing and hoard it, and it becomes the be-all and end-all of your life to get more and more of this, you're losing the development of your own gifts. You understand?
Yes, sir.
The Honorable Elijah Muhammad was right and exact. If you're sick and on a journey, you can fast what? A like number of days. The next verse says, the month of Ramadan is that in which the Quran was revealed, the guidance to men and clear proofs of the guidance and the criterion. So whoever of you is present in the month, he shall fast therein. And whoever is sick or on a journey, you don't get out of it, you fast a like number of other days when you're well. Allah desires ease for you, and He desires not hardship for you. Now, when we confront the Islamic scholars with this verse, there's none of them yet that has given me an argument, not one.
No, sir.
I said the Honorable Elijah Muhammad chose the month of December for us because we are new Muslims. We haven't grown up in the faith like you over here. We are new and we are babies, and Allah desires ease for us and not hardship. So to fast 18 hours in the hot summer like they do in the Middle East would be very difficult for a new Muslim. We want to give him a difficulty factor, but we want to give him something that has ease in it so he can overcome it and build his will to continue to struggle. That's a wise teacher. So the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, no, for my followers, you fast in December. He was right and exact. Now, if the criterion is, if you are sick or on a journey, you should fast a like number of days, well, stop right there. We qualify. Because I can show any doctor anywhere on the planet that we are sick, and he will not argue with me. And every scholar that I pointed that out to, you could see them chuckle and say, I never thought it like that. That certainly is a sick people over there, all right. And I said to them, when you took us from Africa and brought us to America and turned us inside out, you put it in the plan of God to make us have to journey to come back to ourselves and back to our people. So it's a pilgrimage for us all the way to God. So the Honorable Elijah Muhammad did not allow us to eat any land animal. And when this pilgrimage, when you get into the real strict part of the pilgrimage, you can't eat that. Fish. So since we are on a pilgrimage back to our God, back to our people, then we're on a journey. Sick and on a journey, so we fast a like number of days in another month. Allah desires ease. Lastly, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad really wanted to strengthen our will to resist the madness of Christmas.
Yes, sir.
And brothers and sisters, if I never see some of you again, I would appreciate it very much if you would resist the madness of Christmas. I wish every mother here, every father, don't you tell these little babies that some big fat white man is coming down no chimney. You listen to me good. And drop off some presents under the tree when you know it's you giving them the present all the time. Don't lie to your children in the name of fun. Listen to me carefully now. Because what happens to your child when that child finds out that it's you, it destroys their confidence in you because you tell them they shouldn't lie. And when they lie, what do you do to their backside? Come on, talk to me, mama. My mother made my backside blue, black, green, every color of the rainbow every time I lied. So I learned that the lie was worse than the thing I did. And then she lied, telling me some big fat cracker came down a chimney and dropped some gifts off. And I want to find this Santa Claus. And she said, well, he was so tired last night, he fell asleep in the bathtub. I said, Ma, you couldn't let him have a bed or something? And I go stand in the toilet, by the toilet, looking in the bathtub at where Santa lay. Because this cracker gave me all these nice toys. And she laughing up her sleeve. She put it over on her little child. But what she did, she put it over on herself. Because when I found out that she had been lying all along, what do you think I thought? I trusted you, mother. You beat my backside for lying. Now you come up lying. I can't whoop you. But why did you lie? Well, it's a little white lie, just in the name of fun, on Jesus' birthday. Look at you, how you disgrace the memory of a man you say you love by lying to your babies on the day when a man who is the Spirit of truth comes into the world. No, no, no. You must resist the madness of Christmas. Did you hear me? 3 wise men come, bringing Jesus gifts. They were wise. They knew who he was. What are you bringing gifts for? Well, it was tradition. Who benefits from this tradition? Here they are downtown. You think they believe in Santa Claus? The boy downtown, from the day Thanksgiving came, he was giving thanks. He said, my biggest business day is right around the corner, Thanksgiving. After he got you to buy the turkey and the trimmings, he worked on you that next Friday, which was the biggest shopping day to get ready for Christmas. And they sitting there with the hands ringing over the cash register. And here come Mr. and Miss Fool, spending money that you don't have. To do what? To say to your baby, I love you. Pick the baby up. Hold her tight. Hold him tight. I love you, child. And I'll give you gifts all year long if I can afford it. But I'm not giving no credit to no cracker. It's me, your mama, out here scrubbing white folks' floor. This is what giving you these gifts. Then your baby look at you and say, oh, mama, you did that for me? Throw her arms around you and kiss you. And you get a chance to draw your children close to you, not close to an imaginary white man, which is psychologically damaging to your little black babies, that you, their black mama, can't give them nothing, and when they get something, you give the credit to the cracker. And that's why all their life they start looking to white people to give them things when it should be looking to themselves. Do you understand? All right, all praises due to Allah. So, how you going to resist? Deck the hall with boughs of ivy. La 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 la. Oh, little town of Bethlehem. And then you start. Come on, brother. Silent night, holy night. I can hear the Jews now. Silent night. It's a silent night because you ain't got nothing. But it ain't silent for him because his cash register ringing all day, all night long. Right. Yes, man. Don't do this.
No, sir.
Jesus didn't have nothing to do with that.
Nothing to do with
Brother and sister, you come back. Either I or Brother Collett will explain it in detail with you. And you can go to the library and look it up. It will be nothing but factual. Resist the madness of Christmas. Why are you going to buy eggnog? What that got to do with Jesus? Spike it with rum. Come on now.
Come on, full of comfort.
Want some eggnog, brothers? Merry Christmas. Now you want to get the Christmas spirit. Well, ain't Jesus' spirit good enough? You mean the spirit of alcohol got to be in Christmas, or Christmas ain't Christmas? That's why you buy more liquor on Christmas than any other day of the year, because you drinking to good cheer, right? Merry Christmas. How's it merry for a slave?
Good question.
Shame on you. You got to resist this. Well, I know I should, but my family, we've been doing this for years, you know. If I didn't give my mother a gift at Christmas, why, she would think that I had lost my faith, and oh, I can't hurt my mother's feelings. I know you're right, Minister Farrakhan, but I just have to break down. Can I have a little tree? I mean, just a little one. It doesn't have to be a big one. What is this tree? As much as they hung us on trees, you should not want a tree nowhere near your house. No. You know. See that white man cutting down trees? He's looking at you right now. And every time he hacked a tree, he said, boy, another one coming. Now, what you going to charge for this tree? This one is $25. $25 for a tree? $50 for a tree? How long the tree last? Just for the season. If I don't put it in water, I may get a fire, especially when I put the candles and the lights on the leaves, you understand? Dry the tree out, and how many gonna die this Christmas with fire in their house because they were drunk or their Christmas tree caught on fire? You take that $25, $50, dear sister, dear brother, put it in your pocket. And if you develop the will by fasting, and while you hear them singing all these cheery songs of Christmas, you are fasting. That help your will.
That's right.
And you walk by and the man said, tree. You keep on stepping. That's $25, $30, $50 in your pocket. Well, can I at least celebrate today? For what? Where Christ was born. Who said so?
All right.
Well, the white folks say so. Oh, their mouth is really the prayer book now, huh? You mean the man that lied and told you he found you in Africa with bones in your nose? That man that told you that heaven was in the sky and hell was under the earth, that same liar is the one that told you when Christ was born. And you believe it. For what? Where's the proof? You never asked him. He never showed you. So he chose a day. But we're going to tell you who was born on that day. And who you're really worshiping, thinking you worshiping the birthday of Jesus Christ. Sorry about that, brothers and sisters. But if we are wrong, then challenge us on it and prove us wrong, and we'll celebrate Christmas with you. But you don't even know how to challenge. All you can say is, I think you niggas is lying. But I wish you had said that to white folks. I think you white folks are lying to us about Jesus. Do you know? Listen to this. When we were at Madison Square Garden the Jews were walking around Madison Square Garden the day before I got there, and also the day we were there, saying, "Death to Farrakhan. Death to Farrakhan." They did it in Pittsburgh, they did it in Los Angeles, they did it in other cities. We wish Farrakhan dead. Why you want me dead? What have I done that's worthy of death? I told the truth. So if you want me dead because I told the truth, it's easy for me to see why you wanted Jesus dead. Do you hear what I'm saying? If my truth exposes their lie, then they want me dead. So suppose they knew what kind of man I would ultimately grow up to be. Would I have made it? They would have killed me at birth, like they were trying to kill Jesus. But they didn't know when Jesus was born. Did you hear me? Because it was a carefully kept secret, because they were planning Jesus' death before he came into the world. Do you hear? That angel that appeared to Joseph, telling Joseph what to do, not wishing to make her a public spectacle, the scripture says they hid her away privily. What does all that mean? They hid her away privily. How would she be made a public spectacle? The law in that day is, if you're pregnant and we don't see a father, you committed what? Or fornication. What is the penalty for fornication and adultery in the holy world? It's death. So not wanting to make her a public spectacle or an example, they hid her away privily. Hid the woman so that they would not see her pregnancy or know when her child came to birth. And the angel appeared unto him and said, "Fear not." What was he afraid of? If I didn't do it, then you telling me fear not for? I ain't did nothing. That's right. If you make a woman pregnant, brother, and it's under QT, meaning it's quiet, you scared if it come out, it may damage your relationship with your wife. Right? Or it may mess up something else. So you want to keep that covered. And you're afraid if it looked like it may pop out. All right. So the angel had to come and say, "Hey, fear not. It's all right. This is a child of the Holy Ghost." See, all that's really coded language, but it's easy to decode under the teaching of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. It's so beautiful. Yes, sir. But it's coded language. Yes, it is. Joseph had come in unto Mary. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad said they were childhood sweethearts. Yes, sir. Joseph was just a carpenter. Right. Joseph's father didn't want that man to marry his daughter. He just a rude, crude carpenter. But they loved each other. What is the lesson here? See, a lot of times fathers want their daughter to marry people of standing. And I don't blame a father for that. But in the ancient world, you don't go against your father's wishes. When you get ready to get married, you don't talk to the man, "Darling, let's hook up, and then we'll tell our father." No, you tell him before there's any hooking going on. All right. Or you get hooked. All right. Do you understand? So they loved each other. And when two people love each other and come together under the cover of darkness, sorry about that, something is going to happen. And he did. And Joseph was afraid. He was afraid. He was a good man of the lineage of David. And Jesus was the seed of David according to the flesh. Joseph could not make Jesus. All Joseph could do was put the seed there to produce a physical body, but only God could give Jesus the spirit of holiness and the mind of justice and rectitude that he had. Do you hear what I'm saying? So Paul said he was the seed of David according to the flesh, but he was declared to be the Son of God according to the spirit of holiness. Go read it for yourself. I ain't misquoting the book. All this language is to tell you Mary and Joseph had a relationship. And Joseph was scared to death because he was already married and had 6 children. How did Jesus have brothers? Talk back to me. Huh? In the book of Mark, it talks about Jesus's brothers. Well, Mary didn't have no more children. How did he get brothers? You say, what are you saying, Farrakhan? I'm saying the truth, brother and sister. That's why the Jews accused Jesus. When he began to teach them and condemn them, the Jews threw it up in his face. Well, we're not born of fornication.
That's what they said.
They knew the circumstances, but they didn't know what those circumstances meant. So the angel came and said, Joseph, fear not to take her unto yourself, because that which is of her is of the Holy Ghost. What does that mean? Now, you think that meant Joseph was about to marry her, and somebody else got to her before Joseph did. She comes up pregnant, and the angel says, Joe, it's okay. Go on and marry her, because she's pregnant all right, but that pregnancy is from the Holy Ghost. But you go right ahead. Don't be afraid, you know what I mean, to take her. How would you go through that now, brother? Tell me. You engaged to a woman. All of a sudden, she started taking on weight, and you ain't been there. And then an angel come and say, hey, man, it's okay. Go on and marry her. She's pregnant, all right. It ain't yours, but it's the Holy Ghost child. Are you going to handle that? With your mind? I mean, Joseph, an angel had to talk to him. Brother Collins said God would have to talk to me. It's not trying to be funny. But God would have to talk to us, brother. Now, why am I saying this? Why am I saying this? I'm saying this, dear brothers and sisters, because the birth of Jesus was hidden from the Jews because they were planning against his coming into the world. So when the white man calls it Xmas, X stands for the unknown. So instead of saying Christmas, they dropped Christ and put an X, because it ain't really Christ that they're worshiping, and you really don't know what you're worshiping on that day, and they don't know the exact time of the birth of Christ. That's the birth they all wanted to stop, because his birth into the world meant the end of their world. Are you following me? Yes. So that's why on the 25th day, even though you go to church, even though the church is sincere, I mean, the believers are really sincere, don't take part in it. Go another day. You take that day, if you really believe that Christ was born on that day, then here's the way I think you should act. You should wake up that morning with a prayer on your lips, thanking God for the birth of this Holy One into the world. And if you really wanted to show the respect of him on that day, you would even fast. Because if he gave up his life for you, the least you could do on the day of his birth is to give up some food till the sun sets and then eat with a prayer of thanksgiving on your lips for this great one that came into the world. That's the way we would honor his birth. But we know that he was not born on that day, so we want to resist with all of our might the temptation to get involved in a lie. Even if it is to please our loved ones, we would rather not get involved. Now, if you're used to giving gifts that day to your loved ones, here's the gift I want you to give them and see if this is acceptable. Give them the best spirit that you could muster of love and friendship and service. And if that is not a gift more precious than anything you can buy in the department store, then they have become corrupted and they can't even recognize the greatest gift of all, which is the love that we can share for one another. And if I know that I can have your love and you know that you can have mine, what gift is better than our love for one another? You give me something in the store that lasts 10 minutes, 15 minutes, or a year, and I outgrow it or whatnot, but give me the warmth and the benefit of your brotherly and sisterly love, and you've given the greatest gift of all. And I think that's the gift that Jesus brought to the world, the gift of his supreme love and a willingness to sacrifice himself for the good of others. His will to overcome was greater than the will of Satan to destroy him. So the scripture says, greater is he that is in you than he that is in the world. That's wonderful. If the he that is in me is God and the strength of his will, then that strength is greater than the power of the world. So I can resist the devil and overcome. You can too. Why don't you take one day and fast? If you can't go the whole 30 days with us, take one. If you get by one, try two. During the daylight hours from sun up, don't put anything in your mouth, no water, no food. If you feel that you're going to be famished, get up before the sun rises. Get up at around 5:30. And if you feel like you need something, make you something then. It's permissible. But if I were you, I would need food then. I would take me a nice herbal tea, water, and juice. And when the sun or the day begins to break, stop. And go until 5 o'clock when it's dark again and eat. That discipline all day long. Let's think about it. People going to the water cooler at work drinking, and you are just not drinking. People eating their lunch and you smell it and want it, and you're not eating. Even during the daylight hours, a man is not allowed to take pleasure with his wife or vice versa during the daylight hours. If you can resist, if you can overcome that difficulty, your will be stronger and stronger and stronger. And then when you are asked to stop lying or to stop stealing or cheating, it becomes easier to give up these unnatural things when you have given up something that is very natural. Now, I want to say I'm on a different kind of fast this month. I don't ask anyone to do this fast that I'm on. Okay? I'm fasting also, but I'm not taking any food. I'm not asking anyone to do this. Don't do it. Because if you don't know what you're doing, you hurt yourself. I'm doing this with a doctor's guidance, okay? But for most of this month, if Allah blesses me, I won't have anything. No food at all. And by the 27th of the month, I'll probably be able, after sundown, I may be able to take a little soup or something. But I'm doing this for other reasons. I don't need to lose weight, evidently. So I'm doing this to develop my will. I'm doing this to purify myself. I'm doing this hoping that it will draw me closer to Almighty God, Allah. I really want to be close to God and closer to Him, because I know that the enemy is planning against me and against us, and only God can take me through what they plan. So I want to be a good servant of God, as I know you do too. And so I would beg you, because I'm telling you this, I'm not asking anyone to do this. And I know that some of you will want to do this because I'm doing it. And though I appreciate that, I must warn you that I'm under a doctor. And you are under me in truth, but I'm not giving you what that doctor is giving me. Because as we fast, she is allowing me to take certain vitamins that will not deplete me, you see, so that I will be able to function. You can't go this long and it not affect you, you see. But I hope to show you, and I want you to look at me and observe me during this fast. I would come out just to look at the brother. Just to see is he dead yet, you know what I mean? But I want you to come out and observe me, and I want you to see something. I want you to see a change come over me. I want you to look and see youth. You see? No, I'm serious. I'll be 54 my next birthday. And the more I fast, the younger I will become. Because those of us who are getting older, and you know we don't like age. It's something that comes to all of us, but we don't like that fella. Now you young people, you don't know anything about this, but when some of us get 35 and 40, brother, we begin to worry, you know. I tell you the truth. I see my hair getting thicker. It's true. Watch your mouth. But you know, age is a process of poisons building up in your system that gradually break you down. If you can throw off the poisons in your system, and fasting is what helps you to do that, I guarantee you, you can stretch your life to a much longer life than we're living. Believe me, we died too young. Don't you want to live longer? Don't you want to hold on to your vitality and your youth as long as you can? How did Abraham do it? How was he able to have babies? And Sarah too, she was 90-some years old. Unless you believe that's a lie. Noah lived 900 and some odd years. And he was having children. All them 900. Now that man knew something, didn't he? Well, I want to know what Noah knew. I just don't want to be a dude that run around here at 90 and my teeth falling out and sitting around waiting to die. That's not necessary, beloved. You all are too young. The ones in here that call yourself elderly, I will show you that you are a very young person. But you need to get control of your diet, because this is what is killing you, what you're putting in your mouth. And these enemies are poisoning the food with chemical additives that you don't even know what these chemicals are doing to your body. Please, sisters, please, I'm literally begging you, don't eat the cheap processed foods. Don't do it. Go to the farm, go to the market, shop like your grandmother used to do. Take some time and go and pick over the food and get the best that is there available. And learn how to cook that food where you keep the nutrients in the food and not cook it away. Go to the farm, go to the market, shop like your grandmother used to do. Take some time and go and pick over the food and get the best that is there available. And learn how to cook that food where you keep the nutrients in the food and not cook it away. Stay away from heavy meat eating. Steak is the worst meat you can eat. Pork is the worst. Pork is the absolute pits. Steak is running a close second. And the way the white man is doing this thing today, he's shooting these animals with hormones, fattening them up quick. And then you eat that stuff. And what it does, it causes the young men and women to develop faster than their years. So you have your young girls today, you know, having their menses at 9 and 10 years old, developing breasts and whatnot. They're all but ready to go out into life at 9 and 10 and 11, and they haven't even grown up yet. And if you notice, the children are having babies younger and younger and younger now. So this is why they want to introduce birth control methods into the public school system. Is that right? Yes, not self-control methods, birth control. So we got a lot of work to do, don't we? Yes, to develop our will. Will you try it? Yes, Muslims, I still haven't gotten into the business. We have so many guests tonight, you know, but I definitely will finish it this week with you, because I want you to help me build a mosque And I'm not talking about a physical structure. I want us to build people. We are the real house of God. Not the building, the people in the building. This is the temple, your body, this mosque. This temple must be kept what? Clean. For God does not dwell in an unclean place. You, the kingdom of God is where? Oh, that's heavy. But it's a difficulty to bring it out. More hell is coming out than the kingdom. Would you agree? Yes, sir. So evidently the kingdom part in you is real deep. And the hell part is on the surface. So we got to be able to mine out of you the kingdom of God. And let me tell you, if you really want to help me, you're going to have to develop your will. And there's no better way to do it than fasting. And so I thank you all for a wonderful night. What time do you have, brother? My watch is messed up. Isn't that something? My watch is saying 9:25. Now you know it's time to get rid of this thing. I said, well, I'm doing pretty good. Wasn't doing too good at all, brother. No, brother, I can't do that. I think I've saturated your heads for tonight. You have pleased me much by coming out. And I hope that you will continue. The study sessions, Allah willing, will begin next week. And I don't want you to miss it, because I'm going to be here with you to inaugurate the study. And I want you to see what this study session is going to bring out of you. It's not designed to do anything but bring the best out of each one of you. To our young people that are here, and to the parents who brought them, I thank you. These are the precious jewels of our future. I'm going to ask you all to help me on December the 6th, which is Saturday. An educational conference is being held in Detroit, Michigan, where educators from around the country are gathering, and we're going to plan the curriculum and the basis for the universities of Islam. And then we're coming home, and by the help of Allah, whether we have the economic development or not, we must get our children out of that white man's school. And I need your help to do it. If I have to move business out of here, over across the street, and turn this in the day into classrooms, we're going to have to get our children away from that madness and begin training them ourselves. I need your help to do that. You know, Mr. Moore, who came here the other day to tell us about our $1 million structure down the street, do you know the steel riggers came out, and from what I understand, a saboteur had gone over where the plates that they put the steel on. And brother, where's Brother Salim?
Right behind you, brother.
What did they say they used? A blowtorch?
Blowtorch, sir.
And what else?
It might be a hammer or something probably off the ground.
So they had to replace what the saboteurs did. They broke in the fence with a blowtorch. They
burnt the chain off.
Burnt the chain off and came in. But that shows us that people just don't want us to put that building up. But I'm determined. I just don't care We're going to get that building up by the help of Allah. So, thank you for a wonderful evening, all of you. And I hope that you'll be back out Friday night, and especially this coming Sunday. Because this coming Sunday, I want to give you the history of Moses, the true history of Moses, and how Moses went up into the hills and cave sides of Europe and actually reformed white people. Now I want you to listen to this. I want you to come out, because I'm going to put it over the radio, so that we will show you the difficulty that Moses overcame in reforming white people after they had fallen down on their all fours and had become like the lower animals as a punishment for their troublemaking in the Holy Land. I'm going into all of that Sunday, but more than just talking about it, I want to give you its relevant meaning to you and me today. So if Moses did a work in the caves of Europe, who is this Moses that went into Egypt? Come out Sunday, and don't come alone. And I want you to come alone. I love for you to come, but I want you to bring someone with you. Would you please? And I promise you, by the help of God, the subject will not take long. I'm going to try to finish it during the broadcast. If I don't finish it during the broadcast, it won't be but 15 or 20 minutes after, and we'll be out of here. Thank you. May Allah bless you. To our brother Famian, and those of you that are here that are with him, all of us here are with him.
That's right.
Aren't we?
Yes, sir.
See, if this brother could do all of that for white people, what could he do with our backing?
That's right.
So if white folks don't give him the job, you see, we about to set up the school. Look like we got a valuable man in our community.
That's right.
Anna Langford knows it, and we know it. Don't worry about a thing, brother. May Allah bless you. Keep strong. Brother Khalid will close the meeting. You look very beautiful. Yeah, really? Give that sister a free fish sandwich. Thank you. Excuse me. God, there was... Okay, I guess it went right out of my mind. Oh, yes. Tomorrow night, sisters, Sister Amina Rasul Muhammad will be here. And I'd like all registered MGT out tomorrow. And I will be here with you also to the class tomorrow night. And we're beginning the reorganization of both classes, FOI and MGT. So I hope to see you tomorrow night. Thank you. Brothers, what are you standing so? Thank you, brothers. Thank you. You look wonderful, brothers. I mean, just imagine these men. If we strengthen the will of these men, don't you realize what we could do for ourselves, our families, and our people? Powerful men. And I want to say to my brother here, I just saw him for the first time tonight. I'm very happy to see you, sir. And wa alaikum salam to you. And I just want our brother, our elderly brother, to know that he's a very young man. And if you just give me 90 days to work with you, I will show you, dear brother, from the guidance of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, we can add 10, 15, 20 more years to your life just by controlling the food that you eat. And it don't cost you nothing. Please, if you want to, come on back. We'd love to do that. Thank you. Like I said, I like to use myself as an example. I'm getting up there. But I'm staying in shape, brother. Assalamu alaikum, everyone.